what is successful. But you should explain what everything is. Ooh.
Hello, everyone. I'm Priya Ratnam. Welcome to my kitchen. Today, I'm going to show you some delicious Indian street food called chaat. I feel very nostalgic about specifically these dishes that I'm going to show you today, because growing up in India, I enjoyed eating this street food in Bombay and Pune, a town in the state of Maharashtra. Before I go further, let me introduce my daughter, Sheila.
Hi, Mom. Hi, I'm Sheila. Growing up, I'm nostalgic for my mom's kitchen. So I'm excited now that during lockdown, we still find innovative ways in how I can learn how to keep up these traditions and learn how to cook this food. So we're excited to share this with everybody else.
I'm so excited to be cooking together. So I am in Shrewsbury, Massachusetts, and Sheila is in California. And here we are on Zoom, cooking together and making
like
the same dish.
Like the rest of the world right now. Our lives are taking place on video camera.
So the first dish we're going to make today is bhel. So Sheila, it looks like you have all the ingredients ready.
Yeah, right? And I actually moved everything to my dining room because I still don't know how to prep for food without making a giant mess in the kitchen. So I'll spare everybody the kitchen, but I've tried to put together the ingredients so it would be more efficient. And I've made some substitutes because my kitchen is not as well stocked as my mom's is.
That sounds like fun, because then we can show people how you can substitute different ingredients if the same ingredients aren't available. So the dish that we're going to make today is called bhel, and spelled B-H-E-L. And the main ingredients that you require for this dish are puffed rice. I hope you can all see this. This is puffed rice. And this is called save. And these are available in any Indian grocery store. Save is actually thin noodles made with chickpea flour. So you have puffed rice and something called save, which is available in Indian grocery stores. You can also get it as a ready-made bhel mix, and that is what I am using today. So it looks like this. It's basically the same thing, puffed rice and save. It's yellow in color because they've probably added turmeric to it. So we'll take 2 cups of puffed rice, and I've actually measured the ingredients today, which is a change from my regular cooking, because I just toss things in and don't measure every ingredient that I use.
Yeah, every time I ask my mom for a recipe, especially now that we've been cooking so much more in lockdown, my mom has such a hard time translating it into a real recipe because she cooks by feeling, which is not the same for people who are newer to cooking. So I'm glad she's measuring. It benefits me too.
Yeah, so today I did measure the ingredients, and I have the bhel mix here, 2 cups of that. Do you also have the same thing, or do you have something different?
I use a few substitutes because our stores aren't as well stocked in San Francisco. But this is what my mix looks like. So it's a pretty popular snack and brand called Haldiram, and this is what I picked up from the India stores in downtown. But yeah, I think it's easy to find substitutes and or snack mixes, and usually your friendly India store owner will help you find if you mention bhel. It's quite a popular dish.
Absolutely. So we have 2 cups of the bhel mix. You have that too?
Yeah.
Do you have it all measured and ready?
I shockingly did not measure this time because I wanted to put into the bowl. But yes, I do. I have the bhel and the puffed rice already mixed together and ready to go.
Excellent. So we have 2 cups of the bhel, and I have 1 cup of chopped onions. I used red onion, a medium-sized red onion, chopped 1 cup of that. After it's chopped, it's 1 cup. And then we have 1 cup of chopped tomatoes. Here, I'll show you all the stuff that's going to go into the bhel. So we have chopped tomatoes. I have cooked corn. I just roasted it in the oven. I have chopped unripe mango. I have cooked and slightly mashed potatoes.
Mom, could you lift the ingredients so we can see it?
Yeah, there. Perfect. Can you see that now?
Yeah, it looks great.
Okay, so it's onions, tomatoes, cooked potatoes. I have added cooked corn and just chopped unripe mango. And the only spice that's there in each of these is a pinch of salt, literally just a pinch of salt, or 1/8 teaspoon of salt, probably. What do you have, Sheila?
So I am a huge baby and I cry every time my roommate or my mom cooks onions. So all I could muster up was half an onion before turning into a complete wreck. If people have recommendations on how not to cry while chopping an onion, please let us know. And then I also did a cut tomato. I always have peppers at home, so I'm using green pepper. And then I microwaved potatoes. My mom uses a pressure cooker to cook potatoes, which I think comes out really well. But the microwave works just as well. And I also use salt, but I used cumin as well, which is my secret, and not so secret because I think generations of people cooking have been using it, but I feel like I have discovered cumin recently and I add it in every single thing I cook.
So that's wonderful that you've substituted peppers, and I'm using unripe mangoes and corn. So you can just throw in whatever you have at home. It's kind of like the bhel is like a trail mix, and then you're adding all these ingredients to make something like a salsa, maybe? Would that be a good analogy?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah, I think it has more solid than salsa, but yeah, absolutely. But I think it is just as much of a staple in parts of India as salsa is for a lot of dishes. So it's a great appetizer. It's a great street food to have by itself. I have memories too, growing up in India in the school that I attended. They would sell as bhel in little newspaper mixes with a cardboard cutout box to have as a spoon. So I think most Indians you meet will have their own story for bhel.
Absolutely. And then we have these chutneys, a green chutney. I have made this with cilantro, green chilies, or serrano peppers. I added a little bit of onions, tomatoes, ginger, coconut flakes, salt, and blended it all together. Did I mention cilantro? That's the main ingredient. So this is cilantro chutney, kind of like a sauce. Do you have that too, Sheila?
I have big plans to make this before our cooking adventure, but then I did not get around to it. So instead, I have a jar version of the same chutney. You also get this in your local Trader Joe's and other places. So this isn't, one, this is really easy to make at home if you have a blender, but two, you can get it at your local grocery store as well. You don't need to visit the India stores for this.
That sounds good. And then the other sauce that is used in bhel is a sweet and sour sauce, and it's made with tamarind and dates. And I used the shortcut too and bought the jar from the Indian grocery store, and it's called tamarind and dates chutney. So it's sweet and tart and adds a really delicious flavor to bhel. So did you buy this too?
Yes, I bought a jar version as well. So
the tamarind and dates chutney.
Exactly.
Yes. So are we ready to mix all the stuff?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay. So we have the dry bhel mix.
Should we put some for our second dish, or am I putting all the ingredients in?
No, we'll put we'll get the bhel together, right?
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to add the onions. It's just raw chopped onions with a pinch of salt. And then I'm going to add the tomatoes. Add the boiled mashed potatoes. It's not mashed to a fine buttery texture. It is just kind of roughly chopped mashed potatoes and just salt.
I definitely did not mash mine. They're little chunks. This I will save some for our next dish as well.
I'm going to add a little bit of this unripe chopped mango. That's also a little tart. It's green in color, unlike the mangoes that are ripe and yellow. And this is corn. I did not use frozen corn this time. I actually bought ears of corn, fresh corn, removed the husk, and roasted it in the oven, in the traditional oven, because I don't have a grill. And it came out just perfect.
Oh, that's great for the summer.
And again, it's just, I just added salt, a little bit of pepper, and that's
How did you remove the individual pieces of corn?
Oh, once it's roasted, you have to put it in a foil and roast it in the oven for about 25 minutes. And then when it's done, you can just chop it from the sides and you get the kernels.
That's great, because I don't have a grill either.
It's super easy to make. I'm going to add that.
Do you mix the dry ingredients or do you add the chutney as well?
Yeah, so I mix this all up. I wouldn't add the chutney at this stage because then it can get a little soggy. So when you're ready to serve, then you add the chutney in individual servings.
I see.
So look at how bright and beautiful and colorful this looks. And I'm sure yours looks colorful too because you've added peppers to it, Sheila.
Yeah, it looks quite good. This is my first time making bhel.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
great
I've
idea.
done it so many times.
Great idea.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I'm going to put it in a serving dish and then add the chutneys. Because if you add the chutney to the whole thing and you're not going to eat it all at once, it'll get soggy.
Good point. Yeah, I didn't think about that. I will do the same. I haven't had lunch yet, so this is perfect too.
This is going to be your lunch. It can be had as a snack at tea time. We usually say chai and chaat. And chaat is an umbrella term for a number of dishes. And today we are just going to demonstrate a couple of those. So chaat is just a general term for a number of dishes.
Are you adding the chutney now?
So this is the bhel, yeah, and then you add the chutney. And it
Do you
depends on
ratio of chutney to add? Do you add?
I mean, for one serving, I would add about, start with half a teaspoon maybe. It depends on how much spice people enjoy. So you can start with less and then add more if you like it. And again, it depends on how spicy the green chutney is.
We're about to find out. I've never had this brand before.
So mix it up again.
And the messier, the better. I think that's the beauty of this.
Why should it be messy?
Not messy, but like, you know, sometimes when you present things, it looks pristine, but I feel like Indian street food is, the beauty in it is in the taste, so.
Yeah, it's the multiple flavors and the taste.
Color.
Yeah, so it's got something sweet, something sour, something spicy. It's crunchy and a little, you know, it has all these sauces. So I'm ready to sample my bhel.
Me too.
Are you ready to do that too?
Yeah, let's try it.
Okay, here we go.
Quite delicious.
Mine is super yummy too, if I may say so myself.
This is going to be my new go-to next time I have people over too. It's an easy.
And you realize how easy it is to put together, right?
Yeah, so mine had peanuts in it, which also tastes delicious. So folks want to add peanuts to it too.
That's right. Yeah, I did not add peanuts because I'm a little allergic to peanuts. But so these are I think the puffed rice, I'm not sure if it's available in all grocery stores or you have to go to a specialized ethnic grocery store. I'm not sure about that. Maybe Trader Joe's has it.
I'll have to look the next time I go to Trader Joe's.
Yeah. Well, you can always purchase stuff online these days.
Yeah.
So that was bhel. I'm looking forward to finishing that later. And we are going to show you another dish called Pani Puri. Now this round puffed disc is called a puri. This is a puffed puri. And you get this again in the Indian grocery stores. And do you have those, Sheila?
I do as well. Mom, have you ever made your own puris?
I haven't. It's a very laborious thing to do, even for me. And I've been cooking forever, as you know, but you have to make this dough with wheat flour and semolina, and then knead the dough, and then roll it out into these small discs, and then deep fry it till it becomes like this, like a puffed disc. Yeah.
I do have a couple of friends' moms who have made these from scratch, and I'm always in awe every single time. But it doesn't feel worth the time.
I know, I'm in awe of people who make these too. But these are available easily, so you just buy a box of these. And these are called puris.
Box looks like too.
Right. Yeah, you get a bunch of those. And you can store them for some time. I mean, you don't have to finish the whole box in a day unless you have a party with friends and stuff. So these are puris. And what you do with this is you make a hole in here.
Just a little bit though, because you want the bottom to still be.
Yeah, so you just make it, it should be hollow in there. And what you have to keep ready is boiled mashed potatoes, just like we had for the bhel. So this was not any extra effort, right? You have it all ready. Boiled mashed potatoes and boiled chickpeas or canned chickpeas. You get canned chickpeas in any grocery store. So all that you would do is drain the water and scoop it out and add again a pinch of salt and some chaat masala, which you can get again in the ethnic grocery store. If you don't have chaat masala, you can substitute cumin powder. Is that what you did? Ground cumin?
Yes. I also wash out the can, because I use canned garbanzo beans. I wash it a few times because it's pretty full of sodium when it comes in those cans and starch. And in the guise of being healthy, as I eat 3 potatoes by myself, I do try to make sure that at least it doesn't have too many chemicals in it. So I drain the chickpeas before I mix it. Good
idea. Yeah. So then you add where is my potato?
Do you want to talk about the pani first?
Sure. As I show this.
Yeah.
So you put in the potato into this hollowed puri. And you add the chickpeas.
There's an art to it because you want to add as much of the filling as you can get without the bottom giving out.
That's right. That's right. And without it rolling all over the place.
I know, I've already made a little bit of a mess, but what they don't tell you about cooking is it involves a lot of cleaning. Or maybe they do and I just learned that.
So I have some that I'd already filled. And so these are the puris. And what we're going to do is dunk these puris into a spicy water. It's basically water, but it is, pani means water. You get this, do you have something to show, the pani puri concentrate? It would come in a bottle like this, or I think you got a different version.
Yeah,
right?
I got the powder version. I was very eager to recycle, so after I made it, I threw out the box. But it's just spelled Pani Puri, Panipuri concentrate. So again, if you're in your local India stores, it won't be difficult to find. But yes, I just had powder to add to, it said really cold water. So I put a couple cups of water in the fridge for a few hours, and then I added in the powder. And
right. And the powder consists of, again, cumin. It's got a little bit of what they call black salt, or kala namak is black salt, dried ginger powder, nutmeg, cloves, and all kinds of, again, various flavors, and dried mint that they add. So it's really flavorful. And the packet has the instructions on how to basically dilute it or add water to it. Cold water and ice is a good idea.
Yeah.
So it would be, I don't know if you can see me pour, it's pretty watery. And you would take that in a bowl. Do you also want to demonstrate that?
Yeah, so also just a quick side story. So a couple years ago, this I have made before with my friends. So we hosted a Diwali party, some of my friends and myself, which is our big holiday, usually comes around in October and November. And I had a bunch of our friends over. And given that we were in a festive mood, one additional ingredient I might suggest in the pani, depending on the occasion that you're celebrating, but we added a little bit of vodka to our pani. So I think, well, only if there's a celebration to be had. But this one is not spiked. This is just the regular pani.
Does it remind you of your college days?
Yeah. Well, we didn't have a lot of ethnic. We didn't have a lot of Indian food in college, but definitely after I moved to the Bay Area, there's a lot of Indian restaurants, a lot of Indian grocery stores, and there's quite a rich culture and tradition of Indian food here. So it's been exciting to rediscover it.
So you dunk this puri with the stuffed potato and the chickpeas in the spicy water. And the trick is to eat it whole. Put the whole thing in your mouth and chew it.
Cheers. It's quite delicious.
Mine is too. That's great. And I think people have contests on how many pani puris they can eat. It's like a hot dog eating contest or something, and people keep chugging this. So
it feels very light. So it feels very doable to have more than a few.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can gobble many of these. So that is Pani Puri, puris, and bhel. So I think this was a fun 15 minutes that we made these two dishes. That was wonderful. Thank you, Sheila, for joining me. You made it more fun.
I had so much fun. I'm excited to share this with folks even later today.
Excellent. Thank you all very much for watching.